Let's do it, boys. Victor, Saad, thanks for having me on tonight, guys. What's going on?
Course, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, awesome. We're doing great, man. How about yourself?
Good, good. Just a long day. Another wow, that's 13, 14 hour day. Just a lot. Just I got to be in at 6:10 around tomorrow morning, so I got to be up by 5. Um, I literally just got home. It's a new rotation. I just got off a rotation at the VA. We were doing a lot of implants, all on X procedures, zygomatic implants. And
Mhm.
now so I'm a third out of 4 year resident, and now I'm covering one hospital, but working out of the dental school, doing sedations and stuff. But I got to cover.
They got you everywhere, man.
Man,
Man, they just and still the same amount. I'm on call 7 times this month, so it's like I'm waiting for the work to get a little bit less, so
yeah,
I
you'd think as you get older, it'll get a little bit easier, but
I'm
this has
waiting,
been the opposite.
dude. I'm a
And you still
third year
make time for
resident.
this. It puzzles me.
I'm on call seven
Yeah, I
times a
know.
month still. What's going on, boys?
They're working, man.
Sheesh.
They're working you.
Too much work. So just so for the listeners, our podcast, your podcast, let's go through your guys where you are now, where you came from, undergrad, major, where you're at school, where you're about to start dental school, and go from there. Let's
Let's
get
do
all
it.
out. Introductions.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't mind going.
Yeah,
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm Victor Rossi. Me and Sod are in similar boats. We both did undergrad at Ole Miss. I ended up majoring in business. Figured that would give me some private practice skills later on in life if I decide to do that.
Definitely.
Decided to go to my state school, save some money with tuition and all of that. Great program. There's I believe two. There's very limited residency programs at EMC. So fortunately, a pro to that is a lot of dental students get to see those procedures. So a lot of interactive things going on within the dental clinic there. So interviewed at UMC and a few other schools and decided on my state school. So ready to kick off here in roughly a month. Me and Saad, super
Yeah.
excited for that. Super stoked.
You got a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, we start on August 15th. So I know we got a couple of friends who go to UT Memphis and they started yesterday. So we're pretty lucky. You got a little bit longer.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, yeah, me and Vic, we have pretty similar backgrounds. We're both from like the Jackson metro area. I went to my state school as well, Ole Miss. I
Mhm.
majored in biochem and minored in business, but I mean, just majored in biochem. Like Vic, I got a couple of interviews to a different couple of places, but UMMC's by far the cheapest. And like you said, it's a really small dental school. It's a class size of only 40, and the only two residencies they have are OMFS and pediatric at our dental school. So the students get a lot more like clinical exposure, and that's like their big selling point during interviews and stuff. So we're both doing research this summer at UMMC, so it's been a lot of fun just getting to go there and kind of getting the lay of the land before school starts in 5 weeks.
Research. What are you doing
Yeah.
research for right now?
Hey, right up your alley, Brendan. He's
Yeah, I'm actually doing research on zygomatic implants. So
Oh no
it's like,
way.
yeah, it's finite elemental analysis of zygomatic implants. So it's like seeing where those implants go in like the mouth to see like which one can withstand the most force. So by the end of the summer, hopefully I can tell you which model is the best because right now we're just meshing the models right now and we're gonna test it by applying like a bunch of force to it. So it hasn't been that bad. It's been a lot of fun just going in every day and just doing a little bit, but that hasn't stopped us from like having our summer though. We've been
Good.
having to go like every day, but I mean, we still got trips lined up. Like I'm going to Memphis tomorrow just for a date or for the weekend, so it'll be a lot of fun. Vic's
excited.
going to New York. I went there at the
Yeah.
beginning of the summer, so
How many
just
days
rocking and
do you have to
rolling.
be? Excellent. Glad you're going to New York. Memphis sounds like a
Yeah,
time. But wait, how many days a week are we working here on research?
man. Well, it depends. Like it's supposed to be 5 days, but like we have like really chill. Like me and Vic are both on different projects, so we can kind of come and go whenever. Like
Yeah.
I usually try to go like 3, 4 days a week, but if I miss
My
a day, no
project,
one's gonna be like calling up my phone, seeing
yeah.
where I'm at.
My project's a little more like in the lab. So I'd say I'd spend a little bit more time inside, just working, getting data together, putting it all in Excel.
Yeah.
It's going along good though. I really enjoy what I'm doing. So
Okay. Okay.
great
Good.
thing.
As long as you enjoy what you're doing. Now, is it a chance that you can have a little more work now so that when you start school, it's a little bit less? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, I think for us, we're both kind of we're trying to get as involved as possible, like
Yeah.
as early as possible, just so we can like hit the ground running. And I think that's Vic and I's mindset. Like if we do a little now, it'll go a long way in the future. So just doing a little bit now, like it's not anything too taxing or mentally like
Right.
takes up too much time. So
Okay.
might
Oh,
as well do something. Just keep the gears grinding a little bit.
definitely. Definitely. No, that's good. That's good. And then do you know if there's a guaranteed publication? You guys going to be putting out a paper? Like, what's kind of been the reimbursement, if you will? What's been the return of investment here?
Mhm. So
Right.
for me, I've had like a couple of research publications and stuff in the past during undergrad and even like back to high school. My dad's a chemistry professor at like a local university, so he got me in like lab research like pretty early. So I've always enjoyed that aspect and like being in academia at a dental school is definitely a possibility. So having this background to do research, hopefully
Yeah.
it could lead to like a publication or at least like a scientific presentation or like a poster presentation I could present at. So that's kind
Definitely.
of the goal behind it and trying to keep the research going for the next couple of years. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. What about you, Vic?
Right. So similar situation. I actually didn't do research though, like Saad did. Don't have a pass in research, but what I have been doing is working with an erbium laser on crowns
Hmm.
and seeing the heat transfer to the cement and seeing how quickly the crown can remove without doing any type of like gingival damage or anything like that,
Hmm.
and seeing how clinically applicable it could be. So you can, really reduce the time of taking off a crown or, um, pieces like that in your mouth with the laser. So for me, I figured doing this research, it helped me a lot if, having my own practice, if I want to use a laser, incorporate that, have some foundation into using it. And really, for me, it was, have a side gig over the summer that makes some money, but isn't really going to do me a lot of justice in the long run, or get involved in some light research, which it isn't too much. And my mentor is really flexible. So just getting that and starting the ground with some foundation before dental school.
I like it. I like it a lot, and I like the idea here. Those are some good thoughts. Get the involvement started now before you really get, thick into the books and stuff. I like this. I like where you're going.
Mhm.
Right. So
But
it's been
I mean,
good.
since we're here, we might as well like know a little about you. I mean, it's not very often you could talk to an OMFS resident one on one. So, I
Really?
mean, if you don't mind, if you could tell us a little about yourself, where you came
Sure,
from.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Whatever you want to know. And I'm always available. I mean, you guys know my DM's wide open. I
Yeah,
respond. I
I
prefer
respect you for
audio.
that. You always respond.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes it takes me a few days or a week or so, you know how it goes. But
Right.
yeah.
no,
I
hey,
mean,
I
busy
got it.
guy, so understandable.
But yeah, yeah, of course. And I'm always open to that. I'm from Long Island, New York. I started at went to St. Anthony's High School. Grew up playing a lot of sports. Really liked basketball. I started my college years at NYU Polytechnic Institute. It's the engineering school of NYU, which is now Tandon of NYU. I was brought in to play basketball there, and then 2 years in, NYU was like, "All right, you're officially an NYU school now," because it was like a 8 to 10 year transition, 7 to 10 year transition period. After my second year there, they're like, "All right, that's it, and now athletics are out. You have to try out for our main campus
Oh
team." And I'm
gosh,
like, "What? Wait, we were guaranteed 4 years of athletics here.
What's
What
the
yeah,
kind
and
deal?
of?"
scholarship too, huh?
Yeah, we got completely blindsided. Even the coaches, everyone, no idea. They just
Yeah,
stopped
wow.
paying them halfway through the second season. It was nuts.
Gosh.
I transferred to Stevens. It's just on the other side of Manhattan in New Jersey.
Mhm.
Um, Beautiful school, also an engineering school, so all my credits transferred over, which was necessary. And then I only played basketball for 1 year because they were really hardos on on basketball, which is great in a way. But I'm not going to be a basketball coach. Maybe for my kids one day. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right. Not
So
your career goals.
exactly, exactly. So I stopped playing ball, got a 4.0 one semester. My last year applied to dental. No, took a gap year, applied to dental school. The gap year, I don't know if you guys took one, but highly recommend it. I mean, you guys are already in, so you're not going to,
Yeah.
and now you could finally start in the next phase, the next chapter. But I
Mhm.
learned a lot. I worked a couple jobs, staying involved, just like you guys are.
Right.
Dental school out on Long Island, Stony Brook, also a small school, 40.
Yeah, 44 is what I saw, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And then right from there, applied to oral surgery residencies, got the interviews that I wanted, and submitted the rank list, got in here. I'm at NYU now, and then that's that. Trying to build this side company with one of my dental students. It's good that you guys are starting now, because involvement right now for you guys is research, right? But one day it might advance to a side company, a side project, a side
Right.
club, right? As does the main club in dental school, by the way. Highly recommend
Yeah.
joining it. My buddy Sean and I, he's an orthodontist resident now. We both went to Stony Brook together. We're trying to build this. It's called the Predent Mentor Map.
Right.
We're trying to combine it with ASDA to kind of like show, like be an advocate for them, and give them kind of like a leaderboard where they show their executives, the club chapters. You'll learn more about that club as you go. But essentially, the Predent Mentor Map is like a free program where pre-dental students can learn data from each school, connect to answer a few questions with current dental students at that school, and then discussion boards. You guys are aware of Student Doctor Network,
Yeah, absolutely.
so make
I've been
that.
through a
But
lot of
let's make
interviews.
it for dental. Let's make it just.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're going. What we want to do. We really like to give dental students that apply for our program. What we want to do is kind of take like the FIGS ambassador code idea, but instead of really like taking money from prenatal students, which we see a lot of people doing, I'd really like to, let's use advertisement dollars from Loops companies, maybe FIGS companies, dental equipment companies. Let's use them. Let's put them on this map, and then use ambassador codes whenever predental or dental students buy using their code. They get a kickback. It's not going to pay off dental student loans, but maybe $100 a month will get get some groceries here and there. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the vision.
Totally agree.
I'm an oral surgery resident, 3rd out of 4 year. Just started this 3rd year this week, and that's kind of my story. Hobbies, interests, and everything. And mentoring is kind of what got me here. Let me turn on this light a little bit. Mentoring is kind of what got me here. So I'm very, very. I try to be very involved and give back where I can. I also want to kind of be a person that I could be relied on as a leader, and I really want to bring this profession, or in a sense, keep the profession where it is, because we're really kind of mimicking medicine right now. And I don't know if you talk to too many doctors; they're not very happy.
It's one of the big reasons we wanted dentistry.
Exactly right. Well, with this DSO movement and such,
Yeah.
DSOs can be good, but most of them, they're just trying to sap the system for money. And I understand the proactiveness and the tenacity to try and keep it a very business, but it's kind of ruining patient care, and it's turning the provider into an employee. And I think so. Anyway, long story short, I want to be a mentor, and I make a lot of content in this space because I want to kind of bring the profession back to where it was for all, not for a few. So anyway.
Gosh, a lot of ideas in that head, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you want to keep the wheels turning, right?
Absolutely.
Jeez.
So how do you, I mean, just being an OMFS resident, going through dental school, how do you balance all that? You got to be up in another, what, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours?
Yes,
So, I mean,
10 hours, something like that.
yeah.
Got to get to bed on time. I'm noticing to maximize the morning, you gotta really be efficient. You gotta be punctual on your night routine. You always end up staying up extra hours, watching another YouTube video, maybe watching a show, reading a book, reading up on procedures, studying. But to really maximize that morning routine, it starts with the night routine. That's one thing. You guys will see, dental school can get busy at times, very busy at times, handling. And for you guys, if you're interested in oral surgery, the CBSE is going to be on that road at some point.
Yeah.
CBSEs, it's not going to be like you get 2 months off to go study for this thing. No, you got to study for that on top of school studying, on top of clinic work where you're handling patients, you're preparing for procedures, you're planning out treatment plans, you're working with faculty members with deadlines. all at the same time. Something, obviously time management, but everyone will tell you, oh, this is what you got to do. You got to time manage. What I found was, and I'm not like selling this, but the app To Do. I don't know if you
I've
guys
heard
use
you
it.
talk about it before.
Well, I saw your Instagram story and I downloaded it right then and there. So
Did you
hopefully I'll
try it
start
out?
using it. No, I haven't yet, just because
I've started using it.
my
It's
schedule
good.
this summer has not been that busy. But once the school year starts, I definitely plan on using it.
And I'll tell you why and when that's really going to come in handy. Vic, you've been using it. What have you kind of
Yeah.
been using it
I
for?
just started using it. I saw you used it and it helped you. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go.
And
And
what did you think? Did you notice?
I have a scheduled meeting Tuesday. And I'll also, I don't have a lot going on in the summer, but trying to get a routine going with it now so I can be really punctual on my didactic work during school.
Exactly, exactly. And really, really take note. You got to play around with it, right? It's like any app on the phone now. There's dimensions to it. It's obviously, to-do list, but a
Right.
calendar, and then also an organizer where I don't know if you saw in the left column, you can make folders. So you could put, clinic patients, you could do, I mean, HIPAA stuff, but classes, didactics, academics, CBSE studying under that, exercise routines, events, just like you said, events, interview, put it all on there, put in folders, organize it, and then you could reset things to reappear. So say you did it today, it's done, it's gone, but then it reappears tomorrow morning. It reappears every Sunday morning or every first Monday of the month, et cetera, and so on. Play around with it, dude. I find that to be huge. I used to have, and everyone says, write things down so you can physically cross it off and stuff. I used to have a daily planner that would go out for the month, but then you're wasting time rewriting everything every day. This app, you
Right.
just open up a new bubble, and then you could drag it into your daily routine. It's like this. It's 30 seconds
Hold
rather than
you
30
right to it.
minutes, right? You don't
Yeesh.
have time for that, right? You don't. Now, another thing was I used to write things out by paper, and then when clinics started, you have patients, right? And you got to, oh, this patient needs this. They still need, I don't know, an X-ray here. They need to pay for this treatment before we can move on to this one, all on top of your didactic courses, right? And then you can't walk around. The scrubs, they'll have like 2 pockets sometimes. So I was using a Post-it note in the breast pocket, but that
Right.
Yeah.
write everything for 7 patients in dental school on a Post-it note. So that's when I transferred fully over to the phone, everything on the To-Do app. You open up your laptop at the end of the day, boom, it's already there because it's synchronized, right? It syncs across all the devices. It was the hack that allowed me to continue building a side company with Sean to handle clinic patients, didactic courses, finals, oral pathology was going on at that point, and the CBSE studying because I hadn't passed it. Like I got the score I wanted at that point. It's going to come in
Right.
handy down the line. Just keep, and you can refer back to this if you want to like figure out how to. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume Sean's residency is a little bit different than yours, huh?
It's different. It's different, but he's going to be really good. He's going to be a really good orthodontist. The way he times things out. He's always asking me about stuff with orthognathics, and I'm like, I haven't done many orthognathics yet, right? Up until
Yeah.
this point, but yeah.
Deal. Jeez. So one
So
of the questions I had for you, Brendan, is me and Saad are going into dental school, and we're not super set on any specialty. We're open minded to everything. So I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on how your thoughts are on different specialties within the dental field and the future of different specialties. Technology is moving at a super fast pace. Clear aligners, robotics, all of that. Do you think some specialties are really going to advantage from this, and do you think some are really going to take a hit from this? From a layman's point of view, it seems that a lot of orthodontists have lost a lot of class 1 cases from clear aligners and are getting hard to hold their practices down with DSOs growing so fast and things of that nature. So I was just wondering what your thoughts are on different dental specialties.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's specialties, and then which dimension? Because you have the DSOs, you have the growth of it and how the industry is changing. You mentioned robotics. You also
Right.
mentioned clear aligners and such, kind of tying into Invisalign.
Right.
Issues there, positives.
So let's start with technology. So where do you think that's going and throw clear aligners in there too, as in, technology and
Sure.
things of that nature.
Starting with technology, robotics, we're
Right.
getting there. We're not even close yet. I give it at least 20 years. before robotics start to become implemented. Now we have lasers and stuff. I'm saying
Right.
like in the
Actual
medicine side,
Full, yeah.
right, exactly. So I spent a month rotating on bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery is the surgery of like the stomachs and stuff. You have gastrectomies, you have sleeves, you have partial gastrectomies, etc. They actually do robotics where the surgeon sits in a separate room, and then they put this big spider-like contraption called Da Vinci over the patient, and then they put about eight. It's got like 8 legs, and these things go into the body in these like like five port sites, 5 to 8 port sites, and then they do the incision in there. They got the camera and whatnot. We're not there yet. In the mouth, we're all operating on a micro level.
Right.
I could see there becoming a device. I would want to invent it. I don't know how it would work, but something that you put on the tooth, and then somehow it like uses ultrasonic or some kind of waves to break the PDL fibers, and then the tooth just pops out. I could see that kind of becoming a thing within the next 20 years, but I think it's going to take 20 years before a full-on robot is replacing the mind. Also, if you're getting a procedure done awake, who's going to allow a robot?
Yeah, that is
to come in?
terrifying.
That's terrifying. I'd much rather have a human being there that I can, look at.
Interact with.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely not. And then they're inside your mouth and you can't see anything going on. Absolutely not.
Terrifying.
That kind of technology we're away from. Clear aligners, I think the technology kind of advanced before the specialty did. The way I'm saying is clear aligners, they're saying that this is so easy a GP can do it. And now they're messing up patients' bite teeth, causing TMJ
Right.
problems, causing
Yeah.
dehiscence. Dehiscence is when you move a tooth to incline it, decline it, move it too quickly, and now
Right.
the whole root. Dehiscence is like exposure of the root.
Right.
The tooth's
man.
you're gonna lose that tooth.
A lot of corrective cases then is what you're implying from an
Exactly.
orthodontist point of
A
view.
lot of corrective cases. I think a lot of GPs are kind of jumping the gun thinking that they can move teeth when they can't yet. And a lot of orthodontists that do Invisalign, clear aligners, etc., they're getting these trays back from these supposedly orthodontists that make them, and they're making so many more adjustments multiple times before they can actually be put into a patient's mouth to adequately move the teeth the way they want them to. How did we get to this point? They're marketing this technology to patients directly.
Right.
And then the patients come and say, hey, can I get Invisalign? And then the dentist is like, I don't want to say no. Because it's already a seller, but then it's also like, are you trained to do this? An orthodontist supposedly made this.
But are you really trained?
But do you know how this is going to move that tooth? They might not. It might have been made by a lab technician. So the issue is, so you got to understand marketing and branding, how this all came into fruition. Because when you market directly to patients, whether it be a toothbrush, whether it be toothpaste or Invisalign, et cetera, now they come into the office, it's already sold. Patient doesn't understand that. The clinician does, but is the clinician well trained? You see, so it's money in the pocket of the dentist, but it's not necessarily best treatment for the patient. Yes, other technology. We're looking at something called the dental implant machine. Are you guys aware of that?
Unfamiliar.
Do you know what it is?
I mean, hearing it, I think dental implant machine.
Enlighten us, Brendan. Let us know.
It sounds like a machine that'll put dental implants in, right?
Right.
It's not. It's actually a marketing engine based on Facebook that uses geographic marketing to hone in on locations to get dentists, periodontists, to get implant patients into the practice that pays for the dental implant machine. This is the future of marketing, and it's a cool program, right? They're actually getting so good now where you could pre-qualify patients financially, say like, oh, this place takes my insurance, and when before we even go to the office. Now, obviously, insurance companies don't cover implants for the most part, but this is a new phenomenon. And I only know it because Sean and we do a lot of the work with our side company. If you talk to other dental students, a lot of them won't know about this. Residents, they're not going to know about this stuff. It's interesting. And the way I kind of see the future going is we made the pre-dent mentor map. We're going to create the dentist map next using the prototype of that as a template, and then basically do what we do for dental schools for dentists. And then in the back end, use this dental implant machine technology, import Google reviews, Yelp reviews, bring in different type of treatments. What if a patient needs a root canal? which are the providers in the community that do root canals? What are their ratings on Google? Import all this stuff, pre-qualify them financially, basically almost have that consultation completed before the patient even walks in the office. Obviously, you can't do that, but getting close to it, I could go on, but that's my dream and where it can go. I'd really like to do it personally for ethical reasons. I kind of see what's going on with DSOs and whatnot. If they create this before someone else does, I think that it could be a machine and an engine used for, other purposes. You know what I mean? We'll see.
Jeez, that's so interesting you said that, Brendan, because a week ago I was doing a mission trip in Honduras, and I was, I like to have an entrepreneurial brain and think of new ideas. So I actually have written down in my notes, create a website that does a quote comparison and a Yelp review on doctors and lists their medical procedures. And patients are allowed to give reviews on how good and how successful the procedure went and how the doctor handled it, and dentist. So have that right here written down.
There
So
it is, man. So,
really interesting you said that.
So guys, stick with me here. We're gonna need a big team to make these things, happen. We got all the ideas are there, man. The Yelp reviews, Google reviews, the financial side. Dude, it's coming. It's coming. We need a big team to make this happen. So stick with
Make
it.
it happen.
It's
I'm
coming.
about it.
Man, let's hope.
We got the website team. By the way, what's taking us so long? We started this 4 years ago. We're on our 4th website team, and it wasn't every year because website teams say they can do it and they can do it. And then all of a sudden, they take all their money and the product is like, this doesn't work.
Right.
So
Oh gosh.
finally we have the website team. We could do it. We're thrilled. Unfortunately, we're behind on funds now. So now I graduate in 2 years. You get it. You guys get it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sheesh. Circling back to your OMFS journey, are there any key lessons or insights that you wish you had going into that stage? And then as well as, did you do any externships for OMFS? And then lastly, at what point do you recommend to take the CBSE?
Absolutely. Okay, so that's 3 parts. Let's break this in. Part one thing that I would recognize. So a lot of people try to jump the gun as in, I want to start studying for the CBSE before I even start dental school. No. Let's conquer dental school, being a good clinician before we work on that. Now, how are you going to do that? The whole first year, remember, later on, you are going to be juggling clinic on top of classes on top of studying for the CBSE. So first year, I want you guys to focus in on, let's get down on studying efficiently and effectively. Efficiency when minimizing the amount of time, effectively by maximizing how much you learn it, right? 2, you're going to remember your clinic's going to be coming in. So that's why you want to learn it good, so you get a good GPA, and learn it quickly, because you're not going to have, if you're studying for that stuff all night long, when are you going to study for the CBSE? And then when you get to studying for the CBSE and you have 10 minutes, what are you going to do at that time? So now, how are you going to do? That's what you got to do. How are you going to do this? I found for me, and it might be different for you. Maybe you guys like to write down everything. There's not much time to study like that in dental school, like we all did in undergrad, right? Writing things 2 different times. You don't have time. I found Quizlet was it for me. Quizlet, the premium version, it's like $20 a year. You can put figures with stuff. You can use other people's sets that they made. You could just get right to studying. You could star the ones that you need to study again. You got wrong. You could put away the ones you got right. Another program is Anki. I know a lot of medical students like to use Anki. I don't know. Maybe you're familiar with it. You guys?
Yeah, I used it a little bit for DAT prep, and it helped a lot. But I mean, as far as user interface, I think Quizlet Plus is the way to go. And it's funny you mentioned that, because Vic literally texted me a week or 2 ago saying we should share a Quizlet Plus account. So I think we're gonna have to invest in one.
Why? Why do you think you should share? Well, financially, obviously.
Yeah, just because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what you asked about. What do you wish you knew? 3rd year, we're taking oral pathology, and turns out 3 of us in the class really like to study these things with Quizlet. So what we did was, this is what you guys can do. Look at this. I figured out using Quizlet end of 2nd year, and I was making every single class lecture into Quizlet on my own. Oral path came. 3 of us were making Quizlets. Someone would make lecture 1. I would move on to lecture 2. Before even the second lecture began, someone started working on lecture 3. You've already studied that for, even if it's 20 minutes, guys, before the class starts. You're raising your hand, answering questions in class. All the other kids are getting nervous. What the hell is going on? This is how you study for these classes. You got to team up and take it on together, right? And I think Quizlet's the
Absolutely.
best way to do it, because some of us have the photographic memorizing. You prefer to do it that way. Some people do it by written. You could put that all in a Quizlet, and by teaming up, you could pump these things out quickly. You see? Question answer also. I would make it question answer, and then you could put A, B, C. Try to keep it. I would put multiple things on one next card. I would do it up to 5. Try to keep it to like 3. You'll see. You'll see. It'll be good. Next question you had was, and does that make sense? I think this
absolutely. Yeah.
absolute breakthrough for me for dental school, because now you're really saving time. You're learning it better. Dude, I would get through Quizlet. I got to the point I would get through Quizlet deck twice. 750 cards, get through it twice. I would get 90, 92s or more every time.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna be good, but look, you got to stick with stuff. Part 2 was
externships.
Externships. Okay, I did 3. Remember, I was in the middle of COVID, so my externship summer was 2020. COVID literally hit. I had 5 scheduled. 3 dropped off. I added another 2. One of those canceled, and I was lucky enough just to get. I got 3 in. The magic number for you guys, you want to aim for about 3. Okay, you have time to do this. And we'll get into this, but you guys want to focus on the CBSE first. So first year's D1, the entire year, get acclimated, work on efficient and effective studying, right? So that when clinic adds on, you're ready to go, because then you're going to add on the CBSE. CBSE is going to come next. And I'll tell you how when to take that. Let's just do it. I would take it after your first year, after D1 year. Take it after. Don't study for it though. Just take it. You're going to see it's different from any other exam you've had thus far in dental school, right? You got to see what the beast is before you're going to conquer it, right?
Right.
So I reckon you have 6 tries to take it. It's plenty of tries. That's your entire. If you took it every year in dental, because you can only take it twice a year. It's only offered twice a year. So you literally have all of dental school to take this thing. So take it once after first year, get an idea of what the hell this thing's like. Then I would, again, second year, sometimes they start getting you in clinical a little more, focus on that. Towards the end of D2 year, start studying for it. Take it after D2 year. That's going to be a big exam time. Okay, you're going to might get like a month off or so. That's what we got. Whole time studying for it. The time you want to hit it home is then after D2 year. If you don't knock it off, that's fine. You have one more, plenty of time, one more try during D3 year. Okay. Why is this important? Because the summer after D3 year is when you submit your applications, and that's when you want to get your externships in, I think, during and after D3 year. Okay. It's a really good idea to knock off that CBSE first, so that you can now focus on externships and getting your application in. Shadowing the OR, assisting, observing your programs, oral surgery. You're going to want to be there. Those doctors, the attendings there, are going to be writing your letters of recommendation. Those residents are going to be giving you tips in real time. So that's a really good idea to knock off CBSE. All right.
And then, with that being said, sorry. For externships, is a CBSE school required to apply, or is it like you could extern before you take the CBSE?
Yeah, you can extern before you take the CBSE. Yeah, it's not required for externships. CBSE is required for applications.
Right.
Not for externships. Externships are not required for applications. But generally they're not promoted. You get it. They're encouraged. They're encouraged. The magic number is 3. Okay. Some people do 5. I've heard of people doing upwards of 7. Get 3 in, you know. And if you have time, let's say you knock the CBSE off end of D2 year. You have all of D3 year. There's no reason you shouldn't be getting 5 externships in. Do them at reach programs. Do them all over the country, whatever you really research these programs. See what you want to do. Do you want to go into craniofacial, dental alveolar? You really want to hone in on implants? You really want to do trauma? Do you want to work in an academic setting, a hospital setting, a private practice setting? You see what I'm saying?
Sweet. Appreciate that. That was a big chunk of advice, but
yeah, no, just trying to digest it all.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And guys, you could always DM me. We could go through these things. How to
Yeah.
study for it. I'm here for you. You know.
I think that'll go
Absolutely.
far. So, Brendan, I have a question for you. So what type of job are you seeking, after OMFS, whether that's teaching, private practice? I know you have different businesses on the side, so you're probably going to figure out how to leverage your time the most to get everything going. And also, how big of a factor was income when pursuing oral surgery? I know it can't be number one with how many hours you put into the work to get what you get out of it financially. But how big of that was a motivation for you?
Income. Obviously, I mean, I think the biggest procedures in dentistry we could all agree it's in oral surgery, right? I wanted to be a big mover. I want to be. I don't know. I don't think I have a Napoleon complex, but I want to be. I always wanted to be important. So I strove for, they say like aim for the moon, land in the stars, whatever it is. I would say it really was an income though. I mean, I want to have a good life. It's really lifestyle. And
Right.
it was actually just this last year, it kind of hit me. I'm like, I'm really kind of tired of working weekends.
It's starting to resonate.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, I really don't like taking call. And I really don't like doing things for free unless it's for like the brand,
Right.
for
Something
patients,
out of it.
right?
Mhm.
Like, but and it's really hard to explain. There's a lot of how do I say it? Like if you do the math, last year my D not last year. Last year's PGY2. So my first year of residency, if you did the math, it came out to about $750 an hour. Because it's salary based, and we don't really get a lot of training on understanding what your time is worth, what each procedure is worth, and and people kind of look at things based on salary. But then if you're an employee for a place, half that salary goes off the taxes. So that's something you got to understand. If you're a business owner, you can run things through tax deductions,
Right.
and not in a sleazy way. Like, no, this is legitimate. You are a business owner. You
Mhm.
should be running things through the business because this is your company and it's all for patient care. This is how you get things to be cost effective. So yeah, I'm really I'm kind of looking to get as far away from the hospital setting as possible. I would like to be a partner in a business. I want to build brand. I want to work directly for patients. Ideally, I don't want to take insurance at all. I want to work for
Right.
patients, by the patients. The analogy I like, who's the dog's favorite person in the house?
The one that's around all the time?
Okay. And that person that surrounds all the time usually, is feeding the dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
That dog,
Right,
when it's
right.
gonna get a treat or dinner, drops everything and is gone to that, right? The way I
Right.
kind of look at it is like with patient care, patients are the utmost focus of attention. But when you have insurance involved, insurance is who's paying the doctor, right? So I think this is where things get a little fuzzy, where it's like, you're focused on, liability and protection, the risks, and you're focused on patient care, but the money's coming from the insurance company. So you're coding this and that. And I don't know. I just want to work directly for the patients.
Totally understand where you're coming from with that too.
Yeah. And I know a lot of oral surgeons, they're working 6 days a week, 10, 15, 20 years into their career. I kind of want some family time,
Brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you work for DSO, many DSOs, they put you on their time. You lose a lot of autonomy because you're seeing the patients they want you to see. Sometimes when a DSO, you got 5, 6 surgeons above you. You're not
Right.
doing the all on X implant cases, right? That top guy's getting that.
I see there's less than a
Mhm.
minute on the Zoom meeting.
Yeah. Can we sign out and then just sign back into the same one and we'll continue? I
Yeah,
have until 9. I
absolutely.
have another meeting at 9:05.
Yeah,
Let's
of course.
go until then. All right, let's
All right.
sign out and sign back in. All right.